All right, and we are live. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Big Boot Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Lando, the Sports Mando. And today, here I'll be talking about basketball, baseball, softball, games, and topics. Um, just the important things that are going on right now. Obviously, we have the NBA Finals. We also have the baseball. Baseball will be going on with the College World Series. I will be talking about a couple of those games, where LSU is going, plus a couple other teams. I will also be talking about the Women's College World Series as well with softball, and where I will pick and determine who the winners are going to be. Give my personal opinions on said games and see where we go. But to kick things off, we're gonna start. We're gonna start with the obviously the ongoing NBA Finals between the Miami Heat and the Denver Nuggets. So obviously right now the series is tied 1-1. Was not expecting that. I was personally believing that the Miami Heat was going to take a 2-0. Excuse me. The Denver Nuggets were going to take a 2-0 series lead just because the Nuggets have a better team, better starting five, better all-around players, the role players as well. But no, the Miami Heat, man, they killed it in game two. I mean, they were able to keep toe to toe with the Denver Nuggets. Obviously, Nikola Jokic, had a fantastic game. I mean, the man's averaging a triple double in the postseason, so no surprise there. But Miami's players came out to play that game. Jimmy Butler had a fantastic game. He was able to him and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo just killed it. Like he helped his team with points, rebounds, and he was able to keep Nikola Jokic locked down as much as he could. But obviously, Game 3 will be this Wednesday at 7:30. Honestly, I believe that the Denver Nuggets are going to take Game 3. I think they're going to come in with the chip on their shoulder because I know in their heart of hearts they believe they should have won Game 3. Game 2. Just because, I mean, they were only a 3-pointer away from tying the game and taking it into overtime. But, I mean, the Nuggets had an 11-point lead late, in the third quarter, and Miami just fought back, clawed back, and they just never looked back. Oh, yeah, but let's dive in a little bit deeper into this. I'm gonna go and let's go through the highlights. And y'all, if you're just tuning into this stream, much love, much appreciation. Leave a like, comment, and leave a subscribe for your boy as well. We're gonna be diving into a lot tonight, so don't you worry. And as you can see, I'm trying to rock out all my favorite teams. The New Orleans Pelicans. I know they didn't do too very well this year, but hey, hopefully they could pick it up next season. I'm really confident in let's see. Really very much. Let's see. Hopefully Willie Green will have the boys prepared and we'll be able to give it a run for the postseason, NBA postseason next year. I really, I mean, obviously we don't have the star-studded superstars, but I believe that we do have a solid lineup. We could compete with a lot of top teams in the NBA. I'll discuss a little more about that in the next coming minutes. But pull up. I'm going to take a look back at Game 2 from the NBA Finals. So yeah. So obviously here we have Jimmy, Kevin, Bam, Greg Vincent, or excuse me, I'm sorry, Gabe Vincent. My apologies. Yeah, and then we got Kyle Lowry. Yeah, man. Jimmy Butler and Bam played the most minutes that game. They had 40. I mean, that's to be expected. You need to have your superstar players out there as much as possible. You want to try to give the best, chance for your team to win. Jimmy had only 21 points. But hey, you do whatever you can. Bam had his 21 points as well, but he definitely helped out in the rebounding department. Him and Kevin Love had the most rebounds for their team that night. Rebounds are important. Offensive and defensive rebounds. I mean, it'll change the flow of the whole game. And then we gave Vincent coming in with 23 points that game. That's what you love to see too. Love to see your other starters and role players helping and chip in as well. Especially this NBA postseason, I've realized just watching all the games, I realized how important role players are, because you need to give your players, your star players, some rest whenever you can throughout the game. It's just too much of a task to ask them to play the whole time. I mean, could they? Yeah, they could, but it's a lot. I mean, that's a lot you're asking for somebody. But I mean, heck, if you ask someone like me, bruh, I could probably only maybe play 3 minutes in an NBA game. I am so out of shape. Hell, my buddies and I, we were playing 3v3 basketball this past Saturday, and we wound up playing volleyball as well, beach volleyball, if you want to get technical. But yeah, we played like 3-4 games of 3v3 basketball, and I was dying. I was just destroyed. I was breathing heavily. I was going, but you know what? Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. But anyway, it was a great time. I love doing things like that with the boys, with the friends. It's always a fantastic time. All right, but anyway, going back to game 2, let's check out the Nuggets, see how they did in game 2. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Just in a little chat here. All right. And like I said, y'all feel free to leave a comment down on the live stream. I'll try to read them and get back to them as much as I can. So with the Nuggets, Let's see. Aaron Gordon averaged 38 minutes for that game. Michael Porter Jr. averaged 26. Nikola Jokic averaged 42. It's a good bit. Jamal Murray, 39. Caldwell Pope, 36. But yeah, I mean, this is just crazy. I mean, this just makes you. I mean, this is even more impressive that the Miami Heat were able to pull up with this dub, because Nikola Jokic had 41 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, almost had the triple double. Man's insane. And then Jamal Murray. Get to that in a second. Then yeah, but I think, personally, truly, what got to how the Heat were able to pull out this victory was mainly the Heat's role players just played much better. When you have a new set of fresh guys coming in rotation, bringing in that extra help you need, and then as soon as the starters come through, they're able to finish it off down the stretch. That's what it's all about. Role players are in a very, very important aspect into this NBA postseason. I've seen it time and time again. I saw it with the obviously you saw it with the Celtics and Heat series, which is crazy. I can't believe that series came down to seven games. I honestly, personally thought that the Heat were just going to sweep them. I mean, they were up 3-0, and the Celtics are just said negative Ghost Rider, and they were able to win 3 games in a row. But unfortunately, they got blown out at home by over 20 points, which I guarantee the home fans didn't appreciate that very much. But what's going to be the important aspect for this series is the Miami. If the Miami Heat want to win this series, they're going to have to rely. It's 2 things. They're going to have to rely on their role players a little bit more, and they're also going to have to ask more for Jimmy. You're going to have to ask more for Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. Bam Adebayo's got a tough assignment. Obviously, he's got to deal with Nikola Jokic, who's the best center in the league right now. But you can't stop Nikola Jokic defensively, even if you double team or triple team him. That's just going to leave open for other people along the court side for the Nuggets, because you got Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. Jamal Murray can get you from the mid-range 3-pointer, and then you got Aaron Gordon, who could get you points in the paint, also help you out with rebounds. I mean, this is definitely going to be a very, very interesting series now that it's tied 1-1. I personally believe that it's going to come down to 7. Now, who I will say will win it in 7? That's tough. I'm gonna go with the Denver Nuggets, just because I think come crunch time, the Nuggets, Nikola Jokic, he's gonna have a break. He's gonna have a huge game, either game 6 or game 7, where he's gonna average a triple double. Like, I'm talking about like 40 points, 15 rebounds, 12, 13 assists. He's gonna have to. Otherwise, the Heat are gonna take it. But it's gonna be a lot. I definitely believe that this will be the best NBA Finals to watch in a long time. I mean, the Nuggets have not won an NBA Finals in franchise history. Their franchise hasn't even appeared in NBA Finals. best. I mean, farthest they got was a Western Conference Finals back in the early years, where Carmelo Anthony was a part of the team. So this is a huge deal for the Nuggets. It'll be very crucial to see if they can keep with it and be able to contain the Miami Heat's star-studded roster. And honestly, I mean, going back to Miami, I mean, Miami surprised a lot of people this year. I mean, they came in the postseason as the 8th seed. They lost their first play-in game to the Atlanta Hawks. And after that, they just never looked back. They were winning. They were winning. And I got to give my respects to Eric Spoelstra, the head coach for Miami Heat. He's done a fantastic job with that franchise. He didn't get a lot of credit when he first joined the Miami Heat back in 2008, mainly because LeBron, when Miami Heat got LeBron James in that particular offseason, most of the credit went to him instead of the head coach. But I mean, honestly, even if you have multiple or singular superstar player, it won't work unless if you have a good head coach who knows what he's talking about, knows the game in and out, get the players ready, get them prepared. And he's done exactly that. I mean, the Miami Heat finished with a good winning record, and obviously they finished as the 8th seed. And then they were just killing it in the postseason. I mean, they have not gotten down in any playoff in any series that they've played in the postseason this year, which is absolutely incredible. Only time where they had a major scare was the Eastern Conference Finals against the Celtics. But Eric Spoelstra had him ready to play in Game 7. He was like, "All right, guys, what are we doing here? We should have won this series 2 games ago. This should not have come down to a Game 7." And did that get the players fired up? But I mean, like I said, this is going to be a very fun series to watch. I'm very excited for Game 3 tomorrow. I won't be able to watch it fully all the way. I'm gonna have to watch the highlights. I'll be at work tomorrow. But hey, if you're watching it from the comfort of your home, you definitely should. It's gonna be a fantastic series. All right. So now going on to the rest of the postseason. Obviously, there was people had the favorites of the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern side, and then the Western Conference Finals, people were picking the Phoenix Suns or picking Golden State to come back and reclaim their title for a second year in a row. But I mean, unfortunately, it just didn't end that way. Milwaukee wound up getting beaten out by the Philadelphia 76ers, which, hey, that was another team that people were really impressed with. I mean, I really thought that Joel Embiid and James Harden would be able to help propel their teams further. Obviously, it did not come to that. The 76ers were knocked out by the Boston Celtics. I really thought that the Boston Celtics would, make it to the NBA Finals again to kind of make up for last year after losing to Golden State. But it's just, with Boston, it's just, you never know what game you're going to get out of Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum is said mentioned a couple times that he's one of the best players in the league. I don't necessarily agree with that statement. I don't think he's a superstar. I believe he's a star. He's had his moments here and there, but it's just what can you mean, what can you do? I mean, you have a really star-studded duo in Tatum and Brown, and Tatum tries to do everything he can, but he'll have a couple good games here, and then he'll have some bad games here. He hasn't proven to be consistent. He hasn't had multiple consecutive games where he's just performed the same way or come close. And Jaylen Brown, I really don't know what to say about Jaylen Brown. I mean, it's just I believe he has the potential to be a tremendous player, but I haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen a game where I just said like, wow, this guy's a superstar, or even a star for that matter. He has great games in the regular season, but unfortunately, when it comes to the postseason, he, like Tatum, he struggles. He struggles to get made shots. He clanks. He struggles to get rebounds. He just has a hard time trying to help his team. And I hate to say that, but I mean, it's the truth. And Jaylen Brown is due for a contract extension after this season, and I don't think the Celtics are going to give it to him, because I just don't think the Celtics believe that they've seen enough to be like, you know what, we should keep this guy. He's definitely going to help our team for the future. I don't think it's gonna be like that. I see the Celtics either trading away Jaylen Brown, or restructuring his contract to where they don't have to pay him as much, and then trade him, so that way it won't really affect their cap as much. But the Boston Celtics are still a top-tier team in the NBA for sure. Their head coach, obviously the Celtics had a lot of issues before the season started. Their head coach had allegations thrown at him where he was messing around with the woman within the organization. I mean, you hate to see stuff like that, but unfortunately, it's a crazy world we live in. But despite all that, the head coach that came in for the Celtics, excuse me. Oh, sorry, my apologies, y'all. Let's see. Okay, yeah, Joe Mazzulla. Joe Mazzulla had came in last second, and he was tasked with doing some. Task was like, all right, look, this is what we expect out of you this year, and we expect you to do the absolute best. So they put a lot on his plate, and honestly, personally, I believe he delivered. I mean, he took his team to the Eastern Conference Finals. Obviously they couldn't make it past, but I still think that's a successful season in my book. I mean, they couldn't get back to the NBA Finals, but I definitely see that there's a strong hope in their future for them to potentially get back. I think they're just two star players away from getting back to the finals. Tatum is a stud. He's not quite like I said, he's not quite a superstar yet, but he is getting there. He can definitely help his team progress. I just believe that they're going to have to, get a new center. I mean, obviously Al Horford has been there for a long time in the league. He's a very, very strong veteran player, but you're gonna have to turn to some young guns eventually, and hope if they do, hopefully it will help them get over that hump. And obviously, so now we're going to move over to the Western Conference. Couple of teams there. The Phoenix Suns were obviously a heavy favorite to make it to the NBA Finals this year, mainly because they during the NBA trade deadline they acquired Kevin Durant, which I think a lot of people were surprised by that. That was the last team I thought Kevin was going to go to, was the Phoenix Suns, but they made it work. The Phoenix Suns averaged excuse me. The Phoenix Suns were Phoenix Suns only got to the second round. Unfortunately, they made it to had to play against the Los Angeles Clippers, and the Clippers unfortunately were able to excuse me, not the Clippers. That was all right. Hold on one second. Okay. Oh, my apologies, y'all. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. My apologies. It was I was saying the Clippers knocked out the Phoenix Suns, but I was off there. It was the Nuggets. Unfortunately, when they got to play the Nuggets just embarrassed them. They blew the final game of the series between those two teams. It was the Nuggets blowing them out by 25. It wasn't even close. And obviously the Suns, they fired their head coach, and they just hired Frank Vogel about 2 days ago, which I don't think Frank Vogel was really a great hire for the Phoenix Suns. He was the head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers before, and he didn't really do very well with the Lakers. Now, of course, a lot of people said that was because LeBron was in more control of the team than what it was leading on, but I still don't believe that. I mean, LeBron is obviously a well-respected player throughout the league and through any organization he plays for, but obviously he's going to get ownership, advice or give suggestions to ownership about where the team is, how the team is going forward. But I'm not really too sure about that hire. But we'll see. We'll see how Kevin Durant plays this upcoming season. I know obviously he's a proven superstar player. He has a couple championships under his belt, but people want to see him accomplish his own championship without being with a superstar-studded team. Because obviously he won his championships with the Golden State Warriors, who at that time were just the team to beat. Like they were just an incredible team. And I'm gonna talk about the Warriors in a second. It's hopefully Kevin will be able to prove his doubters wrong and show that he could be a capable player. I would like for him to be more of a leader, to be more involved with his teammates. He just wants to go out there and hoop, right? Just go out there and play basketball. But there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're playing in the National Basketball Association, there's a lot that's asked from you. a superstar like that, like Kevin Durant, he's going to get a huge payday. He's going to get a huge contract, and the organization is going to ask him to deliver. And they expect him to lead the team to a championship and ultimately win it. But there's only so much you can do by yourself. Obviously, unless if you're LeBron James, it's very difficult to carry your team to the NBA Finals by yourself. But yeah, like I said, I would just like to see Kevin Durant take a more leadership role and understand that, hey, getting closer, getting more involved with the guys, with the teammates. It'll help our unit, or help the unity within the team get better and better. And the next team, the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors had a very interesting year this year. Obviously, they had their own drama to deal with as well. They just video surfaced of Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole, which that didn't end very well. Draymond was suspended for team activities for a while, and ultimately, truly, I believe that's what kind of tore the not necessarily tore the Golden State Warriors apart, but it's just that unity, that structure within the team just wasn't there. Like, it wasn't as strong as it was last year or the season before. But yeah, I just the Warriors. Obviously, the Warriors had to play against the Lakers in the second round of the NBA Finals. Which obviously a lot of people were saying that the Golden State had it. Like, they were saying the Lakers were just, they weren't organized. They were just all over the place. They couldn't really get a good game plan going. But the Lakers sure proved them wrong. LeBron and everybody on that team, Austin Reeves, and D'Angelo Williams, they all came to play. They were there, and they stunned the Golden State Warriors in that series. Wound up winning 4-2. Wound up winning 4-2. It was quite interesting to watch. Just watching all those games, I personally thought that the Lakers were going to sweep the Warriors, but I really thought that the Lakers kind of just gave them 2 gimme games. But no, that was very interesting to watch. I was really happy that the Lakers were able to move on, because I wanted LeBron to make it to another NBA Finals, but unfortunately, the Lakers had to go up against the Denver Nuggets, and the Denver Nuggets, obviously being the best team in the league, it didn't work. I mean, the Lakers got absolutely swept, which was crazy, because I personally thought that the Lakers were close in all 4 of those games. They had a chance to win all 4 of those games, or at least win 2 of those. They just could not close the games down the stretch. With about 5-6 minutes left in the fourth quarter of each of those 4 games, the Lakers were about 4-5 points within it. They were right there. They could have tied it. They could have went over, but they could not close it out. They were struggling to keep Jokic out of the paint. They couldn't. They had trouble containing Jamal Murray. But I mean, and once those 2 got going through that series, I mean, it was just difficult to stop. But obviously the Nuggets won that series 4-0, and now that's how they got to the NBA Finals. Man, it was crazy. This has definitely been a very, very entertaining NBA postseason so far for the amount of games I've watched. I wasn't able to watch all of them, but I was able to witness majority of them, and they were very entertaining to say the least. I was shocked. I was shocked by some of them. Obviously, the Milwaukee Bucks getting eliminated, and then the 76ers getting eliminated. I really thought the 76ers were going to be able to make it to at least the Eastern Conference Finals or more. But going back to the Eastern, let's talk about the 76ers. The 76ers finished with the best record and second best record in the East, right behind the Milwaukee Bucks. The 76ers are obviously led by Joel Embiid and James Harden. James Harden was acquired from the Brooklyn Nets after he just pulled another diva moment. It didn't want to have anything to do with Kevin Durant or Kyrie Irving. So he requested a trade. He was just tired of the BS. It was insane, man. But so he gets traded to the 76ers, and then now everyone's looking and saying, oh, the 76ers have a chance now. The 76ers can now go further. Joel Embiid has more help on the outside now, on the post. Well, unfortunately for James Harden, he plays extremely well in the regular season, and then in the postseason, he's a no show in the postseason. So look, let me tell you this: in the postseason, in the last three postseasons he's participated in, his average was 12 points. Was 12 points in each and throughout those whole three postseasons. So that's from 22, 21, or excuse me, yeah. So 23 to 22, 21, and 20. He just I don't know what it is with James. He can't seem to get it together in the postseason, which is just which just blows my mind. He's a talented player. He's an incredible player. I don't know if the moment is too big for him or if he just can't seem to get it together in a way that is just like it's affecting him psychologically. Just go out there and play your best game, buddy. Do what you can to help your team win. Don't be clanking. Don't be turning the ball over. Don't be giving up. Don't be getting unnecessary fouls where you have to sit out a certain minutes, a certain time for the game, and then you won't be able to come back until late. Yeah, and then Joel Embiid. Congrats to him. He was awarded the most valuable player this year. Which there's some people out there saying that Jokic should have got it. Yeah, it's a give or take. I mean, they're both talented players, but Jokic, Embiid, Embiid did a lot. Embiid did a lot this year. He most certainly did. In fact, a little stat here for you. Embiid Joel Embiid was second in blocks this year with averages of 2.8 blocks per game. First was Anthony Davis. Good out to him. I'm going to talk more about the Lakers momentarily. Anthony Davis is – excuse me. Keep changing my thought. I'm sorry. I apologize. Joel Embiid averaged 2.8 blocks. Anthony Davis had 3.1. Let's see here. Joel. Okay. Yeah. Joel Joel Embiid was actually in the top 15 for points as well. Even though he missed some time this year, he did finish in the top 15 in points scored, which is pretty good. That ain't too shabby. But that was really pivotal for them. But unfortunately, the 76ers were not able to get past the Boston Celtics, which the Boston Celtics were just very yeah. The Boston Celtics were able to come back, and they did. The 76ers did make it a series. They were able to get it within 7 games, but they couldn't close it out. The Celtics wound up being too much for the 76ers, and that thus ended a very it's very disappointing year for the 76ers. But hopefully they can come back stronger. Their head coach. Let's see if I can get him up here. Let's see. Yeah. So let's see. Nick. Oh yeah. Yeah. So they were. Yeah. So Nick Nurse able to I think he was just recent Nick Nurse was just recently hired by the 76ers, but correct me if I'm wrong. If he was recently hired by the 76ers, then I truly believe that's a good hire. I think Nick Nurse has been a proven coach in this league. Obviously, he helped the Toronto Raptors win the NBA championship against the Golden State Warriors a couple years ago. That was their first NBA Finals championship won in their franchise history for the Raptors. Man, poor Raptors. Unfortunately, ever since Nick Nurse has left the Raptors, the Raptors really haven't been the same. I mean, they're not terrible, but the Raptors are still on par. They're kind of in the middle of the pack team. So switching back to the Western Conference again, the Lakers. The Lakers obviously made it to the Western Conference Finals, which that was a huge achievement for them because a lot of people have given up on them, saying that they were too disorganized. They couldn't come together. They couldn't necessarily win as a unit. But for LeBron James did an incredible job going into the postseason. Regular season, it was rough. It was a rough start to the regular season. They obviously throughout the first 30 games they had a losing record, and they had a lot of catching up to do. But towards the end of the year, they were able to come together. They were able to get the 7th seed in the postseason, and they were the first series. Excuse me. It was they were a little shaky at first, but they were able to come off and win the first round, and then go to the second round, and then obviously make it to the Western Conference Finals where they faced the Denver Nuggets, and then, well, we all know what happened with that. The Denver, yeah, but and of course, after the Lakers won the NBA final. Excuse me, after the Lakers got eliminated from the postseason, they about a week later, LeBron James was talking about retirement, which that made headlines across everywhere. And of course, you know, a lot of people were, didn't want to see LeBron go. I didn't. I hard to heart believe. I don't think LeBron James is going to retire. I mean, because he's already said he wants to play with his son whenever he gets drafted into the NBA. Um, which wherever he goes and plays, that's where LeBron wants to go. And I think if he's still with the Lakers by that time, and the Lakers don't draft Bronny, then I think the Lakers. I think the Lakers will give LeBron that chance. I mean, LeBron's earned it. I mean, he's played in this league for over 20 years, and he's been, such an amazing player to watch. I'm sure I could speak from my generation and all my friends and people that watch basketball out there that LeBron James has been one of the most spectacular, entertaining athletes to watch throughout the years. Yeah, yeah, Arthur, you're probably right with that. If he does, he's probably gonna pull a Tom Brady and just take time off and be like, hey, so guys, I know I said I retired, but I'm actually coming back. I want to play. But no, I don't see him retiring. He's too committed to the game, and I mean, he said a couple times in post game interviews saying like, I'm better. I'm better than 95. I'm better than 95% of the athletes in the NBA, which honestly, that's true. That is, I mean, I 100% agree with that. I mean, he's 38 going on 39 years of age, and he is still playing at a spectacularly high level. Um, and then because of that, there's a lot of people out there that are compare who's the GOAT of NBA basketball, LeBron James or Michael Jordan. Get that conversation all the time. Get that hear that topic come up all the time. And this is what I tell people. Michael Jordan played in a different era of basketball. Played in the 80s and 90s. The rules weren't as stint as they are today. Obviously you could, and then in the 80s and 90s you could just just play. You could elbow, gut, like just like all like it was just hard nosed basketball, like no holding back. Like you go out there and play. You play like your life's on the line. Not saying that they don't do that today, but I mean that's just like the atmospheric feel of it was between the 80s and the 90s. And then LeBron was drafted in 2003. And so he's about 20 years now. And it's just, LeBron's been playing with the new set of rules. Obviously the NBA has, been very strict on the foul calling. They want to, focus more on player safety, which every professional sport has. I mean, mainly in particular due to, a lot of former players that retire and then years later they file lawsuits saying that they suffer from lingering injuries or lingering effects from playing physical sports like that, which, I mean, honestly, personally, I mean, look, I'm sorry that happened, but you got to understand. I mean, you signed up to play a professional sport, and when you play a professional contact sport, things are going to happen. Things are going to happen that are beyond your control, and you just have to roll with the punches and adjust and just come back stronger than ever. I mean, there have been many cases where athletes have suffered horrific injuries in their professional careers, and they were able to take some time off, come back, and just be better than ever before. Um, I mean, a great example of this is if you want to, we want to do basketball. There's a player. There's a player in the between. Excuse me, with with Magic Johnson. Obviously, Magic Johnson, who's a point guard, played for the Lakers, one of the greatest point guards to ever play. He unfortunately he got contracted with the STD, and honestly, we really thought it was going to affect his playing career, but it affected him mentally, but he took some time off. He was able to get himself, reassured, refocused, had people, have people help him mentally, friends, family, whoever. And he was able to come back and just be a terrific player, one of the best point guards to ever play. I don't think anybody could argue with that. If anybody does have a point guard that they know is better or on par with Magic Johnson, please leave a comment in the below. And then let's go to a different sport. Another athlete that had to overcome a lot. Obviously, Tiger Woods with golf. He suffered. I mean, he has a couple car accidents here and there where it really damaged his body, and he had to deal with some legal issues with his first marriage, and then obviously he had some run-ins with the law that didn't really help him very much. But still, though, even after going through all that, he was able to come back, raise his head high, get himself together, rehab, and he still out there playing golf to this day. May not be the same Tiger Woods as he first started, but hey, he's still a force to be reckoned with. And then obviously football. One of my favorite players, one of my all-time favorite players that I enjoyed watching, and I got to see him live one time, which I'm sure whoever's watching right now will definitely agree with me on this, or will definitely be happy to hear this, with all, especially my friends, or anybody watching, is Drew Brees. Anyone who doesn't know who Drew Brees is, he was a quarterback drafted out of Purdue back in 2001. He was drafted by the San Diego Chargers at the time. Now they're the Los Angeles Chargers. But he was able to. So Drew played with the Chargers from 2001 to 2005. So about 4 or 5 years. And during the 2005 season, a game against the Denver Broncos, he suffered a really bad shoulder injury on his right throwing arm, and it was bad. A lot of Chargers thought he couldn't play it again. They thought he was done, and he just, and after that season, the Chargers just let him go. They gave up on him, and he became a free agent. So Drew had in that offseason. In the 2006 offseason, Drew had two teams that were interested in him, which was the Miami Dolphins and the New Orleans Saints. He wanted to go play with Miami, but Miami failed him on his physical. Miami Dolphins at the time was coached by Nick Saban, which Nick Saban, his NFL coaching career didn't last very long. We'll talk about that another time. Excuse me. But so then he went and worked out with the New Orleans Saints. Him and his wife Brittany were met at the airport by Sean. Sean picked them up from the airport and driving them around the area to see. But Sean accidentally made a wrong turn, showing them around the area, and they were shown the effects of of Hurricane Katrina, which in 2005, Hurricane Katrina, the natural disaster happened in Louisiana. It was one of the biggest hurricanes that the state of Louisiana has ever experienced, and it devastated New Orleans really bad, and it was tough to recover from. But that going back to that, when Drew and his wife Brittany, but especially Drew, when they were shown the neighborhood of what happened, that was affected by Hurricane Katrina, Drew just absolutely saw this as an opportunity to be like, I want to play here. This is where I belong. Him and his wife fell in love with the city. They fell in love with the state, and it was a match made in heaven. So shortly after that, Drew was signed as the quarterback for New Orleans Saints in 2006, and he was remaining the starter for another 14 seasons, and regarded as one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. Shout out to Drew. Shout out to New Orleans. You're an amazing person, Drew, and you are such a spectacular player to watch. Thank you, and thank you for helping the Saints get put back on the map. You truly helped us out there, you and Sean. But yeah, that's just another incredible story where an athlete had to overcome so much to prove that he could still play in the big leagues. But going back to basketball. So we talked about the finals. So as you can see, I'm repping the New Orleans Pelicans. Fortunately, the Pelicans did not make the play-in this year. They did make the play-in, but unfortunately, they were knocked out in the first game. It was tough to see, but I mean, our team, the Pelicans, are not quite there yet, but hopefully we will get there soon. We still hopefully Willie Green, like I said before, hopefully Willie Green can get the team together next year. But audience, let me know if y'all think Willie Green will be able to get the Pelicans together next year, if they'll be better, or if the Pelicans will drop worse than they did this year. But obviously, I'm from the state of Louisiana. I'm going to rep my home team, the Pelicans. Fortunately, the Pelicans, the last decade hasn't really been the greatest for us. We had Anthony Davis for a long time. We drafted him out of Kentucky, and he just, he was a tremendous player for a while, but unfortunately, I don't know why the Pelicans just didn't want to get any help around him. So Anthony always had to feel like he had to do everything himself. And plus, we haven't really had a good stint of head coaches over the years. Obviously we had we had Alvin Gentry before Willie Green. Alvin Gentry unfortunately didn't really do that great of a job. And then before Alvin Gentry, we had let's see. I know his name is on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember. Oh, thank you. Monty Williams. Sorry, Monty Williams. I knew it started with the M. I couldn't remember it. Couldn't remember his first name. But we had Monty Williams before Alvin Gentry. Unfortunately, Monty, he did the best he could, but unfortunately, the Pelicans just couldn't get the necessary role players to help Anthony Davis along the way. And then, because of that, Anthony Davis got very annoyed. He got upset. He was frustrated because he wanted to play. He wanted to play in New Orleans. He wanted to stay in New Orleans, but it's very hard when you have a superstar like that wants to keep playing and help a city, help an organization. But when he knows that they're not doing everything they can to give him the help that he needs. So at one point, Anthony Davis requests a trade. So we wound up getting traded to the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's where he still plays today. Now, personally, I thought that the Pelicans won that trade. I thought they got a lot of good role players for Anthony at the time. Obviously we still don't have all. I believe all the players that we got from for the Anthony Davis trade. I don't think all of them are still on the team. I think they've been moved around here and there. But at the time, I thought it was a win for the Pelicans, and then but unfortunately, still wasn't that great. It wasn't enough to help us get over that hump. So a couple years passed by, and then in 2019, the Pelicans get the lottery pick, first pick of the draft. And everybody knew who they were getting at the time because Zion Williamson was the top prospect at the time of that draft. Oh, excuse me. And we were ecstatic because it was like, yes, we're getting a superstar player. We're getting someone great to help us replace Anthony Davis. But yeah, it's just unfortunately it hasn't really benefited us so far. I mean, at this point, Zion has had flashes here and there, but he has yet to remain healthy for a long period of time to actually help the team in any way, shape, or form. I don't know what his averages are since he's joined the Pelicans. But honestly, I can imagine they're probably pretty low because his average games is super low. Like right now for his career, he's only averaging about 5 games a season, or about 5 to 10 games a season, something like that. But it's not good. I mean, when you draft a player like that, you expect him to be the franchise-altering player to help you get over that hump that you're looking for. It was but looking at the Pelicans roster right now, it's really, to me, it's not bad. I mean, obviously we have C.J. McCollum, who I think is a proven star. He's a proven star player. He played with the Portland Trailblazers for a while, and then we were able to accomplish McCollum for free agency. I believe it was free agency. If it was a trade or anything else, let me know down in the comments. And then we have Trey Murphy III at shooting guard. Brandon Ingram is small forward. I do like Brandon Ingram. He was one of the players that we got from the Lakers trade, or when we traded Anthony Davis. Herbert Jones at power forward, and then we have Jonas Valanciunas at center. I'm not sure if I said his name right. If I didn't, please let me know down in the comments. But yeah, I like C.J. McCollum. I like Brandon Ingram. Trey Murphy III. I haven't seen much. I want to see more from him. I believe he has the potential to be a great player in the league. Obviously he's not quite there yet. To me, he's still young. He's still got a lot going. But hopefully he'll progress better and be able to see some good things out of him. Herbert Jones at power forward. I need to refresh myself with Herbert Jones a little more. I don't know too much about him. But the only thing I really know about Herbert Jones is that he's still a young player. He's still trying to develop, and hopefully the team will put him on the right track. And then Jonas Valanciunas, that's a name right there. I've seen him play. I've seen him play a couple times. I want him to be more of a strong put out center. Like, I want him to be like a little more aggressive in the paint. What I mean by that is his defense is kind of lacking in the paint. Like, he needs to like embody his presence a little more. Like, to show that, if you want to get this basket, you have to go through me in a type of way. That's all I have. That's all I have to cover on basketball for right now. There's going to be a couple more things I'm going to talk about. A couple more topics I'm going to bring up about basketball on the next show this coming Thursday. We'll leave it for that time. I do want to say, though, the NBA draft is coming up. It will be on June 22nd at 8:30. The San Antonio Spurs will have the first. Got the lottery pick this year, and honestly, they're gonna need it. They didn't finish too hot this year. They finished 20-62, which is unlike a Greg Popovich team. But we'll see if they could turn. We'll see if they could turn it around. They're projected to draft a center out of France, which we'll see. We'll see if that goes the way it goes. But yeah. All right. So now we're going to move on to the next sport at hand. We're going to talk about. Let's see here. All right. We're going to move on to baseball. Obviously, the college. Wemby. Who's Wemby? All right, get back to that in a second. We're gonna move on to the baseball. Obviously, the men's college World Series is happening right now, and here, let me just show you. Oh, hold on, let me adjust my camera here. Bam! Got the LSU pants on. Rocking them out. Supporting the boys. Oh. Whew. Oh, the French basketball. Oh, the first overall pick in the draft. Sorry, my bad, man. No, but Arthur but let me know, is Wemby the best prospect in the draft right now, or is it somebody else? If it's another player that I should know about, let me know down in the comments. But yeah, but the college World Series is going on right now. Excuse me, it's about to come up, but they're right now. All the teams are still going through their regionals. LSU, obviously, my favorite college baseball team. I got to rock with them. They beat Oregon State twice to make it to the regional final, where they will play Kentucky this Saturday. It will be a best of 3 series, so they have to win 2 games to move on to the next. If they beat Kentucky in a best of 3, they will move on to Omaha, which that will be the college World Series will partake in. It's a really fun event out there. It's been a tradition for a very long time. Kentucky, LSU has not played Kentucky. Did not play Kentucky this season. It was That was one of the few SEC teams they didn't have to play against, but Kentucky's pretty solid. They didn't have the record as LSU did, well, actually, hey, hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. I need to grab my charger. Oh, let me come over here real quick. Sorry, y'all. All right. Whew, my apologies. All right. Let's get back on track here. All right. So, like I said, Kentucky has Kentucky's been they've been a strong team. Kentucky's been a strong team this year. It's gonna be it's gonna be an interesting series against them. I think the boys could pull it out though. Yep. So let's see. Oh, sorry, I'm looking up one thing. Yeah, so Kentucky was able to finish with a 40-19 record. They finished 16-14 in the SEC conference. It's not great, but it's not bad. So looking at the comparisons between the two teams, LSU obviously finished with a They had over 50 when they finished 54-15. That's a very impressive record. They finished 19-10 in the Southeastern Conference, so did really well in the SEC. The only thing that I'm concerned about with the Tigers is that the pitching staff has been very iffy this year. Obviously, you have Paul Skeens, who's just been an absolute stud this season for the LSU Tigers. He finished with a 1.98 ERA. He started 20. Well, continuing to go up. He started almost 30 games this year, and he just killed it. Almost has the school record for most strikeouts in a regular season, or in a baseball season, or college baseball season. Excuse me. First in history was a pitcher back in 1983. I need to look up his name, but I do know he finished with 267 strikeouts, which was the all-time LSU record. Paul Skeens currently right now has he's getting there. He is, if I'm not mistaken, he is either at 200 strikeouts or he's just a little below 200 strikeouts, something like that. But if I'm wrong about that, please let me know down in the comments. But yeah, that's the only thing I worry about for the LSU boys. But I definitely believe they can come out on top against Kentucky. If their offense plays how they played against Oregon State, then it honestly it should be a cakewalk. When they played, they had to play Oregon State twice, and first game against Oregon State, it was a nail biter. They won 6-5, scored 6 home runs that game, 6 individual home runs. That's pretty impressive. And then and then obviously they had to play Oregon State again. That game they beat Oregon State 13-4. And it was like the offense just came alive that game. They were getting hit after hit after hit after hit. It was a spectacle. So that's how they were able to get to their regional final. They hosted the regional at Alex Box Stadium for the first time since 2019. It was a really special moment for all the LSU fans. And speaking of the LSU fans, I mean, they're incredible. They're absolutely incredible. I'm so blessed, so appreciative to be a part of a fan base as strong as that. I mean, even for away games, it feels like there's more purple and gold than there is of any other color. Wherever the home field or home team is. I mean, you always see more purple and gold than you will see the other, which is, I mean, shout out to the LSU faithful. Play you a little something here. Oh wait, wrong one. Yeah. Oh man, it's a truly honor and a privilege to be part of that fan base. So obviously, and then the Tigers have a really impressive roster offensively. Obviously, they have one of the best center fielders in the country in Dylan Cruz. He finished with the best batting average this year with a 4.32 batting average. That was actually almost it set the regular season record, and also almost set the SEC record this year as well. Excuse me. And then you got Tommy White, or Tommy Tank as they like to call him. That's a big boy right there. But man, could he hit the baseball. All right. Let's see. And we also have you got Cruz. Let's see. Excuse me. I said him already. Dylan Cruz, Tommy White, and then we have Jordan Peterson, a couple other good guys, a couple other players in the lineup as well. The Tigers have been killing it this year. Jay Johnson, the manager, has done a fantastic job getting around some good talent, getting some good recruits. The pitching staff, like I said, the pitching staff is not where it needs to be. It could definitely be better. The starting pitchers are there, but the relief pitchers are what's going to hurt us if it ever comes to that. Our relief pitchers have kind of leave us, hanging here and there. There have been many regular season games I've watched where they had a chance to win, but the pitchers they brought in for relief around like the fifth or sixth inning, they just gave up too many runs. And it just did not go the way that the Tigers would have liked it. But nonetheless, so far in this year's regional, they've come out to play. They've done well. I mean, in fact, Paul Skeen against Florida, he literally pitched against Tennessee. He literally pitched the whole entire game, had over 130 pitches for a starting pitcher. That is a lot. That is a huge amount. But, I mean, that's incredible. That deserves a – oh, yeah. And then it's just like – I mean, he's the best pitcher the Tigers have to offer. But he can't do it by himself, obviously. He's got to have, you got to have a strong staff around him. But most of a good amount of our starting pitchers have definitely helped us here and there. Definitely got us out of some in some clutch situations. And then a couple of our closing pitchers have helped us as well. Let me look at this. Yeah, no, bear with me real quick here, y'all. Let's see here. Hold on, I'll find it in a second. Here we go. All right, let's see. All right, so forgive me on this. Trey Morgan, Kay Beloso. So Dylan Cruz finished with a 4.32 batting average. Tommy White finished with a 3.78. Kay Beloso finished with a 3.29. Braden Jober finished with 3.05. Trey Morgan, shout out to Trey. Love Trey. Cool. He's a cool dude, tremendous athlete. Trey finished with 3.03. Jared Jones, 2.99. That's another big boy. Gavin Dugas, and then Jordan Thompson. Excuse me, Jordan Thompson. I don't know why I said Jordan Peterson. Jordan Thompson is what I meant to say. I'm sorry. Then we got Hayden Travinski, Alex Milazzo, Paxton Kling, Ethan Frey, Josh Pearson. Pearson, that's who I was thinking of. Yeah, I'll go to Mike Paul. All right. But they accomplished a lot. But and obviously some of our relief pitchers, Garrett Edwards and Chase Shores, they're our best two. Garrett has a 1.93 ERA with he's 4-0, has not lost yet. Good for him. He's had 10 appearances. So we love to see. And he has 10 appearances and 1 save. Our other starting pitcher, Ty Floyd, finished with a 4.34 ERA. And excuse me, Paul Skeens finished with a 1.90, not a 1.98, 1.90. So I meant need to correct that. That was my mistake. Thought the 0 was an 8. And he had 11 and 2 record. And he appeared in 16 games, started 16 games. So I don't know why I said over 20. It feels like it's been over 20 with the postseason and everything like that, or not postseason, the regionals and all that. Chase Shores, 1.96 ERA. He's 0-1. He's only been able to make one. He's made 7 appearances. He's made 7 appearances. Started all right, and then most of the rest of our pitchers are just relief pitchers. Nate Ackenhausen, Gavin Guidry, Griffin Herring, Riley Cooper, Blake Mooney, Sam Dutton, Javin Coleman, Thatcher Hurd, Christian Little, Bryce Collins, Will Homers, Micah Buckman, Aiden Moffitt. Yeah. So those are the rest of our relief pitchers. Unfortunately, most of our relief pitchers have the ERA of 5 or higher, which that's a little cause for concern. But so far, they've been able to get it together in the postseason. I keep saying postseason, but it's regional. But it's the same thing. But sorry, I accidentally poked myself. My bad, y'all. I was fooling around with my pen. But yeah, really excited to see the Tigers play this Saturday. The game will start at 3. I will be able to watch that fully and entirely. I hope you guys will be able to watch it as well. Should be a good series to watch. Fortunately, I wish I could say the same thing about the LSU lady softball, Lady Tigers. They unfortunately they got knocked out by the Florida State Seminoles in their regional by a score of 7-4. This was back in May. Unfortunately, they have not been able to participate in the College World Series or Women's College World Series. All right. Give me 1 second. Y'all need to charge my computer. Oh. Whew. Oh. All right. Sorry about that. Had to charge my computer. Only had 2% left. But hey, y'all, if you're still sticking with me in this stream, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I know I've kind of stuttered or made some irregular comments here and there, but I'm still learning, still doing what I can. Hopefully y'all be patient with me, and I will be better as time goes along. I want to be better, and hopefully I will be. But thank you if you're still tuning into this. We're switching switching over to the softball. Right now, Oklahoma's killing it right now. There's 3 teams left in the World Series. They got Florida State, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. Oklahoma will have to play against Florida State. If Oklahoma wins that, they will advance to the championship game against Tennessee. Well, unfortunately, though, Oklahoma will have to be beaten twice in order to be eliminated. Oklahoma has won over 50 games. They set the NCAA record for most consecutive wins in any sport, which, I mean, that's an impressive feat out there in itself. There you go. But so what we what I expect to see is Florida State is definitely going to have their hands cut out for them. I mean, you're playing the best team in the country. What they're going to have to do is they're going to have to score early. Like you're going to have to score runs early. Put the pressure on Oklahoma. Get them to swing for the fences. Get them to swing as much as you can, because they're going to be they're going to feel down. If you go up 3-0 in the second inning, then Oklahoma, and you're shutting Oklahoma down, then they're gonna get more aggressive. They're gonna try to swing for the fences. They're gonna get runners on, and that's what you want to do, because when batters get aggressive up there, they start swinging unnecessarily, making mistakes. But I personally believe that the the state is Oklahoma's obviously projected the favorite. They can, but hey, any given Sunday, as they say, it's gonna be a fun series to watch for sure. Tennessee is waiting to see who they'll have to play, so they're either gonna have to play Florida State or Oklahoma. Right now, Vegas bets have Oklahoma as the clear winner, but we'll see how it goes. Their game will be played. Let's see. Let me look at this. I have that right here. Let me check for you. Let's see. I know I have it here. Okay. My apologies, y'all. Okay, so it will be tomorrow. They'll have to play Florida State tomorrow. That game will be at 7:30 on ESPN. And then if Florida State wins, then they'll have to play another game on June 8th. So that will be a Thursday at 7:30, same time, and it'll be on ESPN. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I don't really watch softball that much, but hey, I got it. Out of the few games that I've watched this season, I mean, it's been pretty fun. The women play hard. They really do. That's one of the few women's sports I really enjoy watching. Softball has always been, entertaining to watch. And later, either sometime next week or the week after, I'm going to try to invite some softball players onto the pod and be able to get their take and perspective. Former softball players played like high schools. Some of them played college. Be awesome to hear their take, their perspective. Going back to baseball, for the men. Let's see, we're going here. So you're trying to look for. I know the men. I know the men are coming up. Excuse me. Spencer Strider, Shohei Ohtani. Okay, here we go. All right, so let's see. Let me first here. Okay, so the games that got coming up for the Men's College World Series. So on June 9th, they will resume, which will be this Friday. It'll be first game will be Duke at Virginia at Duke at number 7 Virginia. That will be at noon on ESPN. Next game will be Indiana State, number 14 Indiana State at TCU. That will be at 5 p.m. on ESPNU. So all these games will be on June 9th, which will be this Friday. Then on next game after that will be the number 15 South Carolina at number 2 Florida. That'll be 6 p.m. on ESPN2. And then the last game on that Friday will be Oral Roberts at Oregon. That'll be at 8 p.m. on ESPNU. So that'll be all the games for Friday. Saturday, we have number 16 Alabama at number 1 Wake Forest. That'll be at noon on ESPN. And then the second game will be Tennessee at Southern Mississippi. That will be at 3 p.m. on ESPNU. And then, obviously, number 12 Kentucky at number 5 LSU. Go boys! That'll be 3 p.m. That'll be at 3 p.m. on ESPN two. And then we have the last game for that day will be Texas at number 8 Stanford. That'll be at 6 p.m. on ESPN2. So got some good games coming this Friday and Saturday. I'm going to try to tune into them all as I can, and I'll talk more about these matchups on Thursday. Give my predictions. Give some insight on all the teams. It should be a good weekend for baseball, college baseball. All right. So now we're gonna move on to professional baseball, MLB. Now I haven't been able to watch as many MLB games as I can, but as you can see, my favorite team is the San Diego Padres. Go Friars! They've gotten off to a slow start this year, but they just need to get their offense going. Their offense has been struggling really bad. But I mean, they got a couple players on IL, some good, good hitters, good batters. But hopefully we'll get it together as the season goes along. The season's still young, still many more games to go. But right now, I'm going to. I will say the Tampa Bay Rays still have the best record in MLB right now. Shout out to Pearson Blank, my good friend of mine. He's a Tampa Bay Rays fan. Shout out to him. The Rays have a 36 and 35-19 record, and they have the leading pit. They have the leading pitcher. And forgive me, y'all. I have it right here. So let's see. Yeah, I have it right here. Shane McClanahan, the leading pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays, probably the best pitcher for the Tampa Bay Rays. He's a lefty, pitching with a 2.02 ERA. That's second in the MLB behind Bryce Elder from the Atlanta Braves. It's pretty impressive. But Shane McClanahan also has the most wins in the MLB with 9. It's the best record for a starter. But, however, we want to go to team success. The Texas. So as a team, talking about team with these are the teams with the best batting averages for the MLB. So number one is the Texas Rangers. How about that? Toronto Blue Jays, or excuse me, y'all. I'm sorry, not batting average, but ERA. So these are the teams that have the best pitching staffs at the moment. Best pitching staffs. So least amount of earned runs allowed. So we got the Texas Rangers at number 1, Toronto Blue Jays at 2, Tampa Bay Rays at 3. Washington Nationals at 4. The Miami Marlins are 5th. Boston Red Sox at 6. Shout out to my buddy Slay Godin, Boston Red Sox fan. Number 7, we got the Arizona Diamondbacks. 8, we have the Colorado Rockies. 9, we have the Los Angeles Angels. That's another team. That's another team I like to watch from time to time, just because I like Shohei Ohtani. He's a great player to watch. And also Mike Trout. Mike Trout is terrific player for the Angels. I'm gonna talk more professional baseball on the next show this Thursday. Or give more insight on how the season's going so far for each team. Then at 10 we have the Atlanta Braves. So those are the top 10 teams in ERA. So unfortunately, my team for the Padres, they are at the bottom. Their pitching staff has not been very great this year. It's been heartening because we have really good pitchers on our staff, but it's just they haven't been showing up lately. Yu Darvish has struggled. Joe Musgrove has struggled a little bit. Blake Snell has struggled too. It's just things have just been off for them, but. Like I said, season's still young, so we'll see what we got to do. But let's see, coming to here. So So now the players leading in RBIs. We have Jordan Alvarez for the Houston Astros. Shout out to my man Connor, Astros fan. Gotta love the Astros. Then we have Adolis Garcia from the Rangers, Rafael Devers from the Red Sox, Marcus Semien from the Rangers, and then Pete Alonso from the Mets. Jordan Alvarez has 53 RBIs. Adolis Garcia has 51. Rafael Devers has 49. Marcus Semien has 48. Pete Alonso has 47. The pitchers leading in strikeouts this year: Spencer Strider from the Atlanta Braves with 113. Kevin Gausman from the Toronto Blue Jays has 100. Shohei Ohtani from the Los Angeles Angels has 96. Mitch Keller from the Pittsburgh Pirates has 93. Hunter Green from the Cincinnati Reds has 90. So those are the top 5 in strikeouts. All right. So I'm going to go. All right. All right. So now we're going to go to the ERA. Oh, wait. Ah, dang it. Oh, boy. So what I was talking about beforehand, that was actually the batting average. Oh, man. I keep getting myself confused. I need to read these better. I'm sorry, y'all. So the first stats I read out were actually batting average. The stats I'm going to read off now is ERA. This is ERA. So these are the teams that have best pitching staffs. And I take everything back I said about the Padres. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. The Houston Astros are first with a 3.23 RA. Minnesota Twins are second with a 3.42. Texas Rangers are third with a 3.62. Atlanta Braves are fourth with 3.66. Fifth is the Tampa Bay Rays with a 3.66. New York Yankees are sixth with a 3.69. Padres are seventh with a 3.75. There you go, boys. Top 10. Eighth is the Cleveland Guardians. They are 3.79 ERA. Blue Jays are ninth with a 3.90 ERA. And then finally, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Shout out to my man Micah from Pittsburgh. They have a 3.92 ERA. So those are the top 10 teams in ERA. And I got to say, shout out to the Houston Astros. They're 36-24. They're on a good little win streak right now. They obviously have a good lineup in hand with obviously you got Jose Altuve, Jordan Alvarez, Alex Bregman, and then their pitching staff is pretty good. I know Ryan Presley is one of the best closing pitchers in the league right now. Hopefully he can keep it up. Josh Hader's up there in saves. Shout out to him. All right. So what we're gonna do here? All right. So. All right. Okay. Yeah. Whew. All right. Nice, y'all. Hopefully this has been a productive stream so far. Like I said, I know I kind of been messing up here and there, but hopefully y'all give me the time and give me the patience to get better with this as it goes along. So So I want to say this Thursday will be the last show I do where it'll just be by myself. Next week I'm gonna start having guests on, have people on, and be able to get more personal opinion or get more opinions in the sports world from others. It's going to be fun. I'm really excited for it, and we'll have a couple. We'll have some couple trivia games here and there and test the sports knowledge of our guests, and then people watching live or people watching at home will be able to you'll be able to participate as well. But yeah, I want to say there. This is I'm gonna end this. I'm about to end the stream here, y'all. We went over a lot. Went over basketball, baseball, college and professional, and then we talked about some softball, women's softball. Got a lot of good games coming up here and there. I'm gonna try to watch, partake, and Thursday give y'all some more insight. I'm gonna Thursday stream is gonna start at 8 p.m. like today. I'm gonna talk about the game 3 of the NBA Finals, what my thoughts were, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the upcoming NBA draft. And then what are the top prospects teams are going to go for? What positions team need here and there. And then after that, we'll talk, give a little more insight of college baseball and professional baseball. I'll give my predictions on who's going to win the games Friday and Saturday, or win the series. And then so and mention a little bit of softball. Who's going to be advancing to the Women's College World Series. And then we're going to talk a little bit about football as well. About we're just going to talk about professional football though. I'm going to bring next week. I'm going to bring in. Talk about college and professional football. And trust me, that's going to be a episode you want to tune into, because football is where it's at. All right. But anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning into this live stream. Y'all been a wonderful audience. I hope y'all catch me again this Thursday at 8 p.m. I hope y'all have a wonderful night, and thank you for listening. Peace.